Hi everyone, I'm Tracy, and today it is Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2025. So, to all who celebrate, Merry Christmas, and thank you for checking out my channel. So, I've been under the weather for like a week. I think it was the flu. So I'm back and feeling amazing, except for a little deep, my voice sounds kind of still flummy, but anyway, today, besides saying Merry Christmas to you guys and Happy New Year, and thank you for checking out my channel, I've been wanting to make a video for folks, mainly geared toward women, but it's for men too, obviously for learning, and because I'm a female, it's my perspective. So today I want to talk about knowing your worth and knowing what to expect in relationships that are, I guess, romantic, that you want a partnership with. I'm actually sweating. I'm pet sitting up in northern North Carolina, and it's literally 70 today. I guess that's across all the way to Missouri and whatnot. So yeah, I'm like sweating. It's crazy. Anyway, so first of all, I wanted to talk about expectations. I know if you're truly highly evolved enough, you're not supposed to have any, expectations and let your partner do whatever, and, you're both supposed to come together and be evolved. And I get that. Oh, there's a beautiful caterpillar. Sorry. I love animals and critters. I'm going to have to take a video of that. Hopefully I won't forget and step on that poor thing. Yeah, you see that? Anyway, so speaking from my experience and what I'm looking for in a relationship, which right now, single as a Pringle, is mutual respect, honesty, transparency, vulnerability, emotional intelligence. So, in my previous relationships, I have been the one who is all of that, honorable, etc. And it takes so little to make most women happy. It's just like, if you're not living with your partner and you're just, it's just your boyfriend or whatnot, you basically, it's so simple. Like I've said this before to my person at the time, just sending a text saying, hey, thinking of you, or good morning. Just the slightest thing that takes you 30 seconds, especially most people are on their phone 24/7. So, if people say, oh, I don't have time, they're lying. Second of all, if a man cannot be vulnerable, then they have a problem. Emotional vulnerability is what allows someone to be able to go deeper with that person and be evolved enough to see how things go. And they don't realize, like, if you're vulnerable, you're going to learn more about that person, and you have to trust that person. Of course you could get hurt, but guess what? If you don't do it, you're going to lose that person anyway. If that person knows their value, which I do, you have to know your worth. And a very smart lady, I just saw it recently, she said, a person can only meet their partner however evolved enough they are to love themselves. So if you're wanting a relationship to match where you are, if they haven't met that within themselves, they're not capable right now to find that in somebody else. And so that made perfect sense as to a lot of reasons, but why I ended things finally with the last person. There would be periods of 18 to 30 hours without hearing anything from them, not even a text. And at one point, I realized that it had been over a month since I even heard from them at all. So, yeah, that's a huge red flag. And there were so many red flags. And my problem was at the time was seeing the potential in someone. Well, potential does not make for now. And so my problem was I kept doing that and giving these people in my life grace and loving them unconditionally, but not having them meet me as to where my needs needed to be met. And it's so simple. Like I said, a text here and there, a phone call, just to show you actually care. I had to sneeze, sorry. Anyway, so that is what I have learned is if you can't be emotionally intelligent, meaning transparent, vulnerable, being able to talk about your feelings, being able to put forth the effort. If I'm giving all effort, which I always do in a relationship that I deem that it's worthy, I am being that person who, I like that saying, even though I'm not a fighter, I'm a pacifist and I don't like confrontation, but when I have to, I will at the very depth of my existence. If I have to speak up and put up, draw a line in the sand and say, hey, these are my boundaries. The saying is, I want someone to fight for me in rooms that I don't exist. And that's a perfect saying, because if someone was talking negative about my person, I had their back, whether they were there or not. And letting everybody know, like, that's not cool and it's not okay. And I found out that they were not doing the same. And, people say, oh, well, I don't want any confrontation. No, there doesn't have to be. You can nip it in the bud and say, no, this is not happening. It's not okay. And that's it. And just go from there. And once I learned to have boundaries in place, I have to go inside because these dogs and kids are screaming. Be right back. Sorry about that. As I was saying, there needs to be boundaries put in place. And some people don't even know what that means. It's like, well, what do you mean by knowing your worth and your boundaries and whatnot? Well, that's going to have to come from loving yourself enough to ask those questions. Like, for instance, if you don't think it's cool for your man to be on social looking at inappropriate things, meaning naked people, half naked people, just here's what I always said. If, let's say I'm on my laptop and my person comes in, I want to know that they feel comfortable coming in and knowing that I'm on my laptop, that they're not going to see anything that's disrespectful to them. And so that is a really good perspective, or I don't want to say rule of thumb because that has so many bad connotations about back in the day. I won't even get into that, but if your person can be on their device and have you in the room over their shoulder sitting next to them, that's what they should do. That's a guide for them to know that, hey, if my person is right beside me, would they be comfortable with what I'm looking at? And that is your guide every single time to know, hey, yeah, that's not really a good thing. Or, yeah, it's cool, So that was a huge thing with me. It's like, well, I'm not looking at these people on purpose. I'm not pulling up my feed to look at, half-naked men. Now, a nice guy in a fireman outfit, shirtless nowadays, because I'm single and I can do that, heck yeah. But I would never just look up stuff like that or look at, disrespectful things that I would not feel comfortable if my partner was doing it. I wouldn't do it to them. And so that's kind of like a guide. If you don't know, or if your partner doesn't know, you might want to bring it up to them and say, hey, if you ever are questioning if this is inappropriate, how would you feel if I'm sitting beside you or behind you looking at whatever you're looking at? They know. They know. They just do whatever they want. Or they don't do it because they know it's disrespectful. Or they have no desire to do it because they're not pigs or disrespectful men. They're evolved men who put their time and effort into their women, because this is the real thing, not, AI, not all computer stuff, fake people, fake accounts. This is real. This is a real person. So if they can't understand that, then yeah, they're not going to be with me. And so I had brought up to one of my exes that I don't like to be ghosted, and it's disrespectful to be ghosted, because I would never do that. And if you want to, say that you're my person and you don't speak to me for over a day, 24 hours, a complete day and night, to me that's huge. And if I'm bringing it to your attention and then you do it again the next day, then you're just screaming that you don't want to be with me and that you don't want to be in this relationship. And so when I finally said, I'm not doing this, I'm done, then they called me out, which is what a lot of narcissists do, which I'm not calling them a narcissist, but a lot of people with their own mental things end up turning it around on you. So make sure that you don't let your man's or woman, it could be for same sex, it doesn't matter. Respect is respect. So if you're telling your partner, hey, this is hurting me, or hey, this isn't cool, and they don't care what hurts you, then you're not with the right person. Because a person who really cares for you is going to be like, oh, yeah, my bad, I've been busy, but no, I'm sorry. Again, no excuse. But if you give them the grace to let them have one chance, two chance, whatever your chances are. Mine was 3. And I gave so many chances prior to that no. And so they called me out saying, oh, I can't be with somebody who's always bringing up my shortcomings and judging me. And I'm like, interesting. If my partner had come to me and said, hey, babe, it's really hard for me not to have video chats with you. I don't want to just talk on the phone. You better believe it that I would change it up immediately and want to make them feel comfortable and make them feel happy that we would do more video chats. And so again, to make me happy is like so easy. And for that person to just totally disrespect me and do the opposite showed me really how much they cared, which is none. And so I am single and ready to get out there and meet new people in 2026. I would say boundaries are super important, and it's something that I didn't grow up with a lot of, because I went to a Catholic school, and it was all about making sure that you did the right thing, that you were respectful, that you never stepped out, up to authority and challenged any authority. And so as I got older, I really changed a lot, but I did not learn the boundaries. I thought, well, how can you be cool and nice and be a light worker and then turn around and be like, no. Well, that's exactly what it is. I am here for people. I'm a light worker. I'm empathic. I'm a lot of things. I'm an INFJ, so I'm introverted. But then I'm also extroverted when I want to be. The point is for all of us to know what the boundaries need to be. If you don't know where to put a boundary, then start with small things. If you tell your partner a certain boundary that you don't want crossed and they push that boundary, that's a red flag as well. They should be respectful of your boundaries. Now, if you're not acting serious about it. Like, hey, this is something serious to me, and I don't want this boundary crossed, and they disrespect you. No, boundaries are there for a reason. And now I've learned you can be everything. You can have boundaries. You can be kind. You can be loving. But you don't let someone stomp all over you. Mentally, physically, verbally, whatever. You have to love yourself enough to walk away when things are not good. If you're with somebody who, makes fun of you, calls you names, cuts you down, is passive aggressive. They'll say things in not so mean way, but it's like a backstab. So, if something makes you feel ick, you're probably not with the right person. There's a difference between someone doing something innocently and it hurts your feelings, and you tell them, hey, that really hurt my feelings. And they say, babe, I'm so sorry. I did not know that was going to be a trigger for you, possibly from a past relationship. Let's work on this together. That's what you do. You work on things together so you can grow, learn, and evolve in the relationship, because that's what good relationships are. Soulmate, whatever, twin flames. So, yeah, so that's my little education for relationships. So, girls, ladies, men, boys, young men, never settle. And I'm not saying, that you think you're better than everybody. No, it's like, I have this and this and this to give. I'll have your back. I'm honorable. I'm loving. You got to have a good sense of humor with me, though. Forget it. If you're stale and boring, big turn off. That's just me. So, yeah, go with your gut. Because a lot of times, ladies, we don't go with our gut and our intuition, and it never lies to us. So start trusting your gut when you meet somebody, and look for all the signs. You have to look for the red flags just by asking simple questions. How was your relationship growing up with your family? Are you close to your mom? Were you hugged? Were you told that you were loved as a child? Because a lot of narcissists grow up. Narcissists are made mainly when they're children. They're overindulged and they're not given any love. They're just given things and spoiled, but no hugs, no I love you. And so that's super important to look out for. I was married to a narcissist for 8 years, and there was a lot of hell moments. I've learned and I've grown from it, and I don't regret any of it, because it taught me so much. And it was those relationships where you learn to get out and you learn your lessons and you're grateful for them, and then you move on and you know what you're worth. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. I appreciate you all. Listen to my voice. Sorry. Take care. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And thank you to my new subscribers. Love you. Peace.